The Mex06 is encapsulated in an IP67 enclosure that protects it from water and dust. To open it, we will only have to remove 6 screws. The Mex06 can be powered through a 12V battery like the one we have here. For it, we will connect positive 12V and negative to GND of the terminal of the battery. We connect the terminals to the battery with a secure connection so that a short is not generated between it. And we place the battery in its housing. We will charge the battery with these solar panels. To connect the solar panel, we will pass the cables through the cable gland, and we will connect the positive and the negative to the terminal suitable for it, denominated solar panel. With this, we would have powered the Mex06 through a battery, and this one recharging through a solar panel. The second option for powering this Mex06 is through an external power supply. To do this, we will connect the positive and negative to the power supply terminal of the battery. Positive to 12V and negative to GND. We check the connections, and thus we would have the Mex06 connected through an external power supply. The Mex06 has inputs to connect pulse counters. We will pass the cables through the cable gland. For this, we will remove the appropriate terminal for counters. The 2 terminals are then connected to the appropriate terminal. This connection is potential-free with NPN logic. Thus we have connected our pulse counter to the Mex06. The Mex06 has analog inputs for connecting voltage sensors. We pass the wires through the cable gland. The Mex06 device has 4 terminals on it. For terminals, VCC, in and to references to ground, SGND. The sensor will be fed from VCC at the voltage set in the configuration. The Mex06 has analog inputs to connect to wire sensors, which can be from 0 to 20 mA or from 4 to 20 mA. To connect these sensors, we have power supply and output signal, return. The power supply will be connected to the VCC terminal, and the output signal to the in-terminal of the corresponding input. With this, we would have connected a 2-wire sensor by current to our Mex06. The analog inputs can also be used to connect 3-wire current sensors. Power supply, output signal and ground are available. To do this, pass the cables through the cable gland and connect the sensor power supply to VCC, the signal to the in-terminal of the corresponding input, and the ground to any of the available references, SGND. Optionally, the sensor can be powered externally. To do this, remember that the ground of the external source and the Mex06 must be connected. With this we would have a 3-wire current sensor connected. The Mex06 device has a dedicated input, PT100Y PT1000. These sensors can be connected in 3 different ways depending on their characteristics and the desired pressure. By means of 2, 3 or 4 wires, they are red or white in color. The pressure differences relative to each mode can be compensated by means of software adjustments. There is a terminal with 4 terminals or connectors that refer to the color of the wire to be connected, RD for red and WH for white. To connect 2 wires, the 2-wire connection, red and white, is made by connecting the probe wires to one of the RD and WH terminals. The free RD terminal must be jumpered with the RD terminal in use. To connect 3-wire PT100Y PT1000, pass the cable through the cable gland, and then, in the same way, the 3-wire connection is made by connecting the 2 red wires to the RD terminals and the white wire to the WH input. It is possible that the probe offers another white wire that could also be connected, but it would have no effect. And, thus, we would have connected the 2 3-wire PT100Y PT1000. If you want to connect a 4-wire PT100Y PT1000, this device does not have internal circuitry for implementation, so even if you connect all 4 wires, you would get the same result as with 3. The Mex06 has a port for connecting devices via SDI12. To connect an SDI12 device to the Mex06, pass the cable through the cable gland and connect the 3 wires, VCC, DAT and GND, to the SDI12 terminal. It is possible that a particular SDI12 sensor has excessive power consumption or requires continuous power supply, so it must be powered externally. In this case, the grounding of the external power supply must be connected to the Mex06 device. The Mex06 device has low power consumption characteristics and disconnects the VCC power supply from the bus when it is not taking readings. With this, we would have connected through the SDI12 interface.